Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast episode. I know the last time I pretty much did a podcast episode was like before WrestleMania, but we are back, and I have a great guest that's going to be joining us today. We'll be talking about Saturday's Night Main Event and Money in the Bank and some other things as well, because we got some breaking news with WrestleMania as well, and we'll pretty much talk about that as well. But I'm going to introduce my guy, one of the dopest content creators in the wrestling space, has a lot of great content. Y'all guys need to go subscribe, get him to 15K. My boy Rated M Wrestling, aka Mo. What's good?
What's
What's
going on,
good?
brother? What's going on, Leo? How you doing, man?
What's going on? So, for everybody who hasn't been able to get a used to you or haven't been introduced to you yet, let them know a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, so yeah, like you mentioned before, my name is Mo. I mainly make wrestling content right now, mainly on YouTube. I like to do reviews of like retro stuff. I like to talk about wrestling history in general. I also do my own podcast on there called the Rated M Podcast with me and my boys. Leo's been on there a couple times as well. Um, I just like to chop it up about wrestling. I've been watching wrestling pushing 20 years now. Um,
Okay.
and it's my
20,
thing.
20 years, that's a long time, I think, for a wrestling fan, especially because we've got a lot of good and bad, especially over the last couple of years. But
Yeah.
the first question is, what made you become a wrestling fan? Like, what match, or was it a specific pay per view or a specific feud? What got you into wrestling?
It was more so like changing the channel. Like literally, I
Hmm.
was I was scrolling through channels and I believe it would have been UPN at the time if this was 2007. Um, yeah, it was UPN at the time, and all I see, and I know now knowing because I went back and looked at it, it was the SmackDown after WrestleMania 23, and all I see is Undertaker coming down
Hmm.
with the big gold in his hand.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm just like, what am I looking at? And I just from there just stuck to it. I kept watching it. Um, what's it called? I didn't watch Raw until like a couple weeks after that. And the crazy thing is, the first Raw I ever watched was that episode of Raw where John Cena and Shawn Michaels went at it for a whole hour. So
I remember that. That was a good
yeah,
actually match as well as well. So yeah,
yeah,
that's a great way to start getting introduced to wrestling. But what about the wrestling content? I know you've been doing wrestling content for quite some time and everything like
mhm.
that. Probably very dedicated as you are as when it comes to wrestling content. What got you into the wrestling content?
Initially I was doing NBA content because like if like wrestling and basketball have been like my two biggest passions. Like I
Hmm.
always watch wrestling a lot, but I also used to play a lot of basketball. But that community was hella toxic. Like people say the IWC is bad. Nah, the basketball community, you could have like the most chill take ever, and someone will find a way to insult you about it. Uh,
Yeah.
like with wrestling, it's kind of just like it's more goofy in a way. Like you can kind
Hmm.
of just it doesn't matter how you really feel about wrestling. Like everybody has their own interpretation of it. So that's it's more fun in that way. I started making content on YouTube. I want to say, yeah, a little bit over 2 years ago. Um, and it's been a good time. It's been an amazing time. I've met some great people. I've done some great things, um, and it's been amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely. And I recently seen one of your vlogs. You recently went to Backlash, I believe. Uh,
Mhm.
that was an interesting pay per view. I actually will say it was an interesting pay per view. It was probably better than I expected it to be, at least for some of the matches that we did see. But like you said, wrestling content, or at least like the wrestling place, even though it's toxic, it still has nothing compared to basketball, especially with the NBA finals and stuff going on right now and stuff like that. Because New York Knicks, they are very toxic because I've seen a couple
Yeah.
clips of them throwing stuff at uh Indiana Pacer fans, them climbing advertisements and literally subway surfing with guardrails. Like, what are we doing? I get that you're
I've
happy,
I've
but
always
like, come
said
on.
like New York is not a real place, man. Like these people, it's like a whole nother dimension. Like I've been out there so many times because I got a lot of family out in New York.
Hmm.
It is not a real place, man. Like you as soon as you leave New York, it's like you just went through a damn whirlwind. Like New York
Yeah.
is not normal, dog. It's not normal.
Yeah, because so for you guys that I pretty much, like you said, I pretty much chopped it up with him a couple times. We pretty much did some wrestling content on his channel a couple times. I recently just
Yeah.
reacted to his channel as we're heading to Money in the Bank season. He had a lot of great takes on Money in the Bank, especially Jack Swagger, because boy, oh boy, I still don't understand how they put the briefcase on him. And people literally came at me and said Jack Swagger's not even the worst. People literally put Austin Theory over him. They put other people over him. I understand with the concept, but at least with Austin Theory, even though the failed cash-in was terrible, but at least the initial win of him winning wasn't worse as him, because like Jack
Swagger was over there fumbling with the briefcase for like 20 minutes.
And I
I'm
watched
like,
that,
bro.
and I'm like, okay, and I remember watching that, and I'm like, okay, how long is it gonna take before he gets down the briefcase? And he finally wins it. I'm like, and then he just goes on to cash in the same week against Chris Jericho, and then have a terrible world title reign. Like, I get people compare his reign to other people, but like, that man was not ready. He was so not ready to become Mr. Money in the Bank. But we are going to talk about Saturday's Night Main Event first, and then we'll probably talk about Money in the Bank. But before that, we found out WrestleMania will not be in New Orleans anymore, you guys. Yeah, that was breaking news, and apparently it's supposed to be international. Mo told me it will be international, possibly. People are already talking already that it's about to be in Saudi Arabia. I'm begging and pleading, don't put WrestleMania in Saudi the same year you do Royal Rumble, because it's bad enough I got to wake up at 12.
Here's an update. So when I texted you that it was going to be international, that was what the reports were at that time. Literally, I want to say 10 minutes before we went live, I went on Twitter, and apparently they're going to run it back in Vegas.
No.
Run it back in
Vegas.
My
gosh, bro. No. It was bad. Like, do you not see the ticket price that people have to deal with? $800 for 2 nights for nosebleeds? I don't want to deal with that.
That's why I was about to go to New Orleans. I really wanted to go to New Orleans. I was
considering going. Like, me and a couple buddies of mine, we were considering going to, because it's only 5 hours for me. It only takes 5 hours to get to New Orleans for me. But I'm not going to be going to Vegas. Everything is pricey out there. The food's pricey. The hotels are going to be pricey. The tickets are going to be pricey. And then this is not even including if you want to go to like meet and greets and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I wish it'd go back to the way it used to be. Now, I understand people don't like the Vince era, but I at least give appreciation to the Vince era, because when it came to tickets and wrestling shows, they did not overprice it the way it is now. We wouldn't be paying $1,000 or $6,000 to sit floor. No. Back then, we were paying like $1,000 to sit floor or something, and that's not even bad. But
if I was an adult at that point in time, I would have been to at least like 3 or 4 WrestleManias.
Yeah,
because like I was looking at those prices as a kid, and I'm like, I mean, I can't afford it because I'm a kid and I don't have a job. But I'm like, and looking back now, I'm like, I could have afforded that back then. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, especially with the responsibilities I got, like, nah, man,
I'm good, because like, this is why and this is the thing with content, not even content, but like ticket prices, it's only going to get worse. I feel like they're going to keep raising the price. You see how they did, I think, for SummerSlam, how they were selling $40,000 tickets for floor, and those things sold out. They're going to continue.
The fact that people are buying them, that's the problem. People are buying them, and it's not like the shows aren't selling out. People are still paying for these expensive ass tickets, and that's the thing I've been looking at with TKO since they've been taking power. I feel like recently it's been a thing of they care more about the marketability of people and the money more so than they care about the actual on-screen product.
Exactly. And then even the fans are the ones going to your shows, and then this is what you do. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm not going to be going to shows because I was going to go to Raw, but they're making me pay $200 to sit like in a decent seat. I'm not paying no $200 to sit in like 100 level seating. I'm not doing that. Back then, when I used to go, I was only paying maybe $80, and they came out to like $160 if I'm going with another person. Right. But $200, I'm good. I would gladly stay home and stream and literally just keep it a buck. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna be going to these shows and we're paying buttloads of money that we can't get back. We're not gonna get it back.
Exactly. It's like, either do I go to WrestleMania or do I pay my rent? Like,
exactly.
Like, that should not be a choice.
It isn't, but people are going to literally make it a choice for them to literally go to these shows. It's going to be $40,000. Watch WrestleMania. I kid you not, they're probably going to raise the price. At least you want to sit for it to $60K. They're probably
I
going to
wouldn't be
60
surprised.
to almost. I wouldn't be surprised in a couple years they try to go to 100K, and you're gonna have some crazy fans that will literally spill out 100K to go to these shows. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do it. I have
I'm not
rent to
doing
pay.
it.
I got a
I
car
ain't
note.
doing it.
I'm not doing that. I'm good.
Fuck no. My dog
No,
gotta eat. No, no way.
exactly.
No way.
So yeah, we have to put that out there. But if they really go to Saudi for WrestleMania,
Let me confirm. It was Vegas that I saw. That's what it's
bro,
looking like.
if they go back to Vegas, bro, I'm sorry, but I'm not going.
It
I'm
is.
not going regardless.
They said per PW Insider, Las Vegas is close to finalizing a deal with WWE to bring WrestleMania 42 back to Allegiant Stadium. The deal is reportedly very close to being completed.
Oh God. Oh
Ah,
God. Well, I better tell my friends don't cancel their WrestleMania plans because we ain't going to that.
no,
They
man.
tried to go. Some of them went to 40 last year. At least 40 was decent, but
Yeah,
those ticket
I
prices were
should have
still
went.
crazy.
I
Those
should
ticket
have
prices were
went.
still crazy. I'm not going to be spilling up thousands of dollars for seating, and then I still got to worry about the hotel and then other things, and
All that
still got to worry about
stuff.
getting
Yeah.
back. I'm
Yeah,
good.
because those prices spike when it's WrestleMania season. Whenever it's around that time, those prices spike. Because I remember last year, the second they announced Vegas for WrestleMania 41, the hotel prices like skyrocketed.
Oh
It
yeah.
was ridiculous. I'm like, oh no, no, no. That was
Yeah.
immediately the red flag. Like, I'm not going this year.
Because literally, because me and a couple of my friends, we were looking for WrestleMania 42, and this is before everything happened. They were literally
Yeah,
saying we had to wait until like this month to like book ahead of time, and it was gonna spike. We looked at it probably a couple of days ago, and it was 500 for like a couple of days. Because mind you, we were gonna probably fly in like a Wednesday or Thursday, and then
yeah,
leave on a Monday or something, depending if we're going to go to Raw or not. But
right,
yeah, we're not going to rant too much more, you guys. So we're going to get into it with Saturday
for
Night
sure.
Main Event first. So we have at least 4 matches, which makes sense. AEW,
Yeah,
please take notes. Stop putting 10 plus matches on a show and have us sit until midnight. I'm
Ugh.
sorry. I'm
At least the
sorry.
matches are good. At least the matches are good.
Exactly.
Mostly.
So we have 4 matches. At least 2 of them are no, at least one of them are title match. The other 3, we got tag team, we got a 1-on-1, and then a steel cage, which I hope is going to be good. So we're gonna start off with the steel cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I've been enjoying this feud actually. I've been enjoying this feud. Like people didn't think this feud would be anything the way it is now, but they
Yeah.
actually made it work. Going into the history we got last year with Priest cashing in on Drew because of Punk and him being a beneficiary of literally all the times Punk costed Drew. So it always benefited
That's right.
Damon in the grand scheme of things. And then we finally got them at WrestleMania, which I thought was a decent match. I actually thought Drew was really trying to legit kill this man. And then literally
Right.
Damian Priest gave him a receipt just last month at this month I would say for Backlash because they went
Yeah.
through that table and it looked like he cracked the back of his head because he hit the concrete. That looked scary. I'm actually
Yeah,
surprised
that
Drew's
was
still walking.
yeah, and especially back in the ring this fast. But yeah, I don't know what people's thing is against this feud. I think it's just weird thing that people have against Damian Priest, which I don't fully understand. If people act like Damian Priest has just been like all of a sudden skyrocketed into this position, whole time he's
Yeah.
been being built since he got to the main roster. Like
Mhm.
he was slowly built to be in these positions. Like he went from, being Bad Bunny's tag partner to being the US champion. Then he was leading the Judgment Day, and then now he was world heavyweight champion. And I'm like, that's what WWE should be doing with more people. They
Yeah.
should be creating new stars. They should, when you give somebody the world title and then you get the world title off of them, you should be in some way keeping their momentum going so they still feel like an important figure on TV. But people just for some reason have this thing against Damian Priest that I don't fully understand, despite the fact he's a good promo, he's good in the ring, he's a good babyface, he's a good heel, like he has it all.
He
I
can
don't
do
get it.
anything.
He can do
I
anything. Yeah.
agree. It's like and people always want to compare not Drew, but Damien and Rhea the same way. I understand where people are coming from Rhea and it's justifiable. We'll talk about her in just a little bit as we talk about Money in the Bank and stuff. We'll try to figure out
Yeah.
what's going to happen there. But what do you think is going to happen in this match? Who do you expect to win?
I I expect this to be a blow off. I thought Mania was going to be the blow off. but
Hmm.
I think this is a situation where Drew gets it done. I
Yeah.
think Drew goes from here and does some bigger things. I think he should be going on to do bigger things. I don't know if they're going to do a draft anytime soon, but I think a change of scenery for him going
Yeah.
back to Monday Night Raw because he's not going to compete for the WWE Championship
No,
as
not
long
anytime
as
soon.
yeah,
Cena's
as long
there.
as Cena's champ. Yeah, so it's like I'm gonna say Drew, but I wouldn't be surprised if Damon wanted to.
Yeah, because I feel like now I hope that they continue the feud that they were teasing with Drew and Jacob Fatu because I think that would be
Mm,
a really good feud to sink my teeth into as a fan. Because we know those two are gonna kill it if they put those two in the ring. Like from in
yeah,
ring to promos, they're gonna kill it, and they're probably gonna give us a great match. Maybe they set that up maybe for Money in the Bank. I know people were even saying they should put Drew in Money in the Bank and have him win. I don't know about him winning it, but
yeah. I don't know about that.
I wasn't even a fan of him winning last year just because it was like it was just a waste of getting to the CM Punk feud. We knew the feud was going to be good. The feud was already over. The fans were buying into it. They didn't need to literally waste the briefcase on him just to elevate that feud even more. That could have went to a Jey Uso for crying out loud. They could have
Anybody.
gave it to LA Knight. They could have gave it to
Y-
any plethora of stars. You could have gave it to Chad Gable. You could have
Yep,
gave it to multiple stars, but you gave it to the one wrestler that I feel like didn't necessarily need to win
100%. I shoot. If I could redo that list, I'd add Drew McIntyre onto that damn list. Like
it. Yeah.
I understand the logic of why they did it. I don't think Money in the Bank really fit into any of the plans that they had for last year. So in that
Hmm.
sense, I get why they got rid of the briefcase, but at the same time, that goes to show like Money in the Bank is starting to become like more of a hindrance than it is like a gift for WWE. It's more of a curse than it
Hmm.
is a gift. And that to me, I was kind of like, I get it, but I still don't like it. You know what I mean?
I agree, but I think I expect Drew to win. And then I think when you were saying about the draft, apparently the report right now is that they want to do a draft in July before SummerSlam. So probably after Money in the Bank going into SummerSlam, they want to do it, and then the draft will be finalized at SummerSlam. So after SummerSlam, everything goes into effect, which makes sense because we can get some new stories coming out of SummerSlam and everything like that. Everything's
Yeah.
fresh, but Drew should probably go back to Raw. Let him be a potential challenger for Jey Uso. Maybe even he could be the guy that defeats Jey Uso for the world title, depending on how everything does shape up. Because there's a lot of people that's gunning for Jey Uso's world title. So the next match that's going to be on the list is, or on the match card, is John Cena versus R-Truth. Now, honestly, I have PTSD from Capital Punishment. So I don't necessarily want to see this match anymore. After seen that, I said, you know what?
Oh
Y'all just
man.
killed this push. I don't care to see this match anymore or them two feud. They've always kind of referenced this over and over so many times with R-Truth always being sticking up for John Cena, using his moves in the ring, talking
Yeah,
like him with the when he was US champion, holding the open challenge and stuff like that.
I
But
love
outside
that.
of, then he came out there and he just poked the bear. He poked John Cena. He was poking the bear and he went through a table. And the
Yep.
fact that they did that literally on a exclusive on a press conference, why couldn't they do that on the actual show? I don't know. But
Yeah.
like the fact that literally you see that clip and everybody goes silent as soon as he does that. Ain't nobody mumbled, ain't nobody said anything. You couldn't even hear, you heard the pencil drop when he went through that table and he just walked out.
No, man.
Ah,
I
John Cena's
love
winning.
yeah, John Cena is 100% winning. I think so I've said this before. I feel like in some ways the John Cena heel turn, I don't want to call it a full-on fumble, but I feel like it's not hitting the potential it should
Mm-mm.
have originally.
No.
And we're gonna look back at it in years' time and look at it and say the same things that we say about the Stone Cold heel turn back in 2001,
Yeah.
which it was a great turn in the moment, but the follow-up, eh. And I
Exactly.
think I'm more so interested, and I think R-Truth is going to be a catalyst for this. I'm more so interested in the story they tell for Cena to go back to being babyface than I am seeing the heel run continue.
I would agree because you got to think John Cena is going to turn back babyface at some point. When they do it, I don't know. I probably
Yeah,
feel like the best way to do it is for him to turn back babyface like after SummerSlam and then maybe like the last 2-3 months. of his run. You can have him be a babyface and stuff like that. But like you said, the turn was great, but the execution of his heel turn was not the best because
Yeah.
you literally had The Rock be the catalyst for this whole thing happen. And then for him to literally say, okay, I did my work, I'm out. And then what was the point? If you really wanted this, what they should have done, what they should have did is held off on the heel turn and actually had John Cena turn at WrestleMania to win the championship.
100%.
And then he could have been like, I don't need The Rock. All I need is myself, this championship, and that's it. That's all John Cena needs to come out and say. And then you pretty much just had John Cena look like a joke because he was getting obliterated by Cody on the microphone. Yeah, he was throwing his few jabs here and there, but Cody was cooking this man.
Cody was cooking. Yeah, he was cooking. He was cooking
on Raw, on SmackDown. He couldn't get, and then he was literally getting laid out every time John Cena tried to lay out Cody, and we see where that went. So I feel like since then, Cody hasn't been on any shows, and I don't expect him to come back until maybe SummerSlam, or maybe not SummerSlam. He'll probably come back in a match for SummerSlam, probably because he's gonna compete at SummerSlam. So maybe we'll do John Cena, Cody Part 2 at SummerSlam. Maybe Cody can win the title back because people are already saying he's probably gonna enter the Money in the Bank, and that's how you use him getting another title. Even though I don't feel like that's necessary for have Cody win the briefcase. We're literally almost 11 years too late for that. So, because he should have won it in 2013.
When Damien Sandow won it. Yeah.
Because you could have had the only two people that really should have won that was either Cody or Ambrose. The reason I say Ambrose because he had the Shield backing him, and the Shield was literally going through all your top stars. They were laying out everybody from Undertaker to Kane to Daniel Bryan to Randy Orton to John Cena. You could have literally had the Shield lurking in the shadows to help him win that title. That would have been a perfect story, but they gave it to Damien Sandow, and we knew he was not going to cash in on John Cena successfully. And what made it worse is it was like he had one arm. You were targeted a one-armed man, and you still lose. I don't understand how
one-arm AA, man. A one-arm AA. I'll never forget watching that.
It sucks. Like, if you want to be honest, if you look at the both male and female division, John Cena and Charlotte one and the same. They've been on the receiving end of the most cash-ins of anybody. But John Cena has
like
been on
a trigger for a lot of the bad ones. Like,
oh yeah,
like what was it himself? What was the one that's Corbin?
Corbin, and then and we seen with Jack Swagger. I'm glad Jack Swagger
said, I'm not cashing in. Yeah, he said,
I'm not going to work with you. I'm not going to work with you. You got to go to SmackDown. You're not going to win this one. Could you imagine how much worse that would have been if Jack Swagger cashed in on Cena for the WWE title? I don't want to see that. He had a whole list. He had a speech impediment, and that's no disrespect to him, but like, I don't want to hear him talk all the time.
No, he couldn't talk. He couldn't talk.
Then it's like the most over I felt with Jack Swagger was when he was like the We the People game, when he was with Zeb Coulter in like 2012, 2013. He was over. And then he got in trouble. And then you had him win the Elimination Chamber match in 2013 when you had Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Randy Orton. And you had him pin Randy Orton in the final two to have him face Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania 29. And that match was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
Terrible
that was probably one of the worst WrestleMania matches I've seen since WrestleMania 27. Honestly.
Yeah.
And what is it with John Cena?
That was the last one. That was the last World Heavyweight Championship match. That big gold lineage at WrestleMania.
Yeah, 2013. 2013, yeah.
Because they retired it at the end of the year. Yep.
Oh my
Sick
God. John Cena is this. I don't know what it is when it comes to him in main event matches, but like him at WrestleMania just sometimes just does not click.
It doesn't click.
Didn't click. This one didn't click this year with Cody. I thought it should have been way better. I'm sorry, this match should have been way better.
Yeah,
at this rate, I would have put Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in the main event at this point. At least that was
anything else.
Or the women's match could have been made. The Fatal 4-Way could have main evented.
Yep. The women's triple threat in the beginning, they could have main evented with that, but
Cena's definitely winning this. The next match is a tag match between Punk and Zayn versus Rollins and Breaker. Everyone predicts Sammy to possibly turn here and align with Rollins and Braun Breaker. I don't know how I feel about that, only because we know Royal Rumble is in Saudi, and I feel like I feel like he's gonna win the Rumble next year. And if
Me
that
too.
is going to
Me
happen,
too.
he needs to be a face. He needs to be a face. He cannot be a
Yeah.
heel going into his Royal Rumble win. I don't think that necessarily needs to happen.
I think a lot of the reason people are looking at Sami Zayn potentially turning heel is because of his interactions with Karrion Kross.
Mm-hmm.
Because Karrion Kross turns a lot of people heel, I guess. Which I get that. I have no issue with that, but at the same time, I feel like it doesn't always have to be like Karrion Kross making somebody a heel. He could just be bringing a different edge in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sammy can like turn up the intensity when he's going for the World Heavyweight Championship. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to do a full blown heel turn. Now, a heel Sammy would work because we've seen it work, but I don't think it's needed anytime soon.
No, because if you have him going for the world title, imagine if you got like a Drew McIntyre as world champion or Seth Rollins as a world champion. He doesn't need to be a heel. He can be an intense version of himself. We've seen Kevin Owens do it plenty of times. When he
Yeah.
would be a face in 2019, he was a really good baby face, and he was also intense as well. Like he could always turn just like that, and he
Yep.
can dial up the notch every single time. I
Every time.
predict that Punk and Zayn probably will win, but at the same time, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker kind of need to win because if you're trying to establish this new group or faction, they kind of technically need a win. So I guess Sammy probably would take the pin because I don't think Punk will,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and I don't think Braun Breaker's taking a pin either. The only way I can see this match is Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker winning.
Yeah, I think the same. I would assume I could see a situation of Braun Breaker pinning Sami Zayn. I could see that. Could
Yeah,
definitely see that. But I think the heel faction needs to win. It's going to be a heel, very dominated heel night. But sometimes that's what you need.
yeah, you definitely need them, especially if they're going to be like a focal point on Raw going forward. Because I can see a situation where Seth Rollins does win Money in the Bank, even though people probably wouldn't like the idea. But just imagine how Seth Rollins could be lurking in the shadows of a Jey Uso tormenting him, or even maybe tormenting a John Cena, because we know he has history with both guys, and then he could cash in on whoever. And then like, what if this is the way they do have, Cena turn back to being a babyface because a heel cashes in and people have sympathy for him? Even though I don't see him Seth Rollins being on SmackDown, I feel like
Yeah,
one
it's
time
kind of
we seen that in what 2021, and it wasn't all that.
2021.
And it wasn't all
Yeah,
that. He's
it
he's
was
a raw guy.
okay. Yeah, he's
He could
definitely
have
a
been
raw
better.
guy.
He's definitely a raw
It
guy.
was like outside of the Edge feud.
He didn't really do anything else, I don't think. And
Yeah, it
then,
was.
well, the Cesaro feud was really good.
That was all right. Yeah, that was solid.
And
That was solid.
then he got released just a couple weeks after that. But yeah, I expect Seth and Braun to get the win here, and then maybe they have Sammy turn, but he should not do that at all. And then we
Yeah.
have the main event of the show, which will be Jay and Logan. People are already making the case Logan should win this match. No. Do people not watch television? Is my thing. Do people
I
really watch
gotta
the rant?
I gotta say this, man. I think people get so lost. So for me, I don't hate Logan Paul. I just need to
I
make that
don't.
very clear. I don't hate that man at all. I don't really understand everything that he's done outside of wrestling to piss people off. I understand the one thing that he recorded. I'm
Yeah,
not
the
gonna say what it
Japan.
is. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that. But outside of that, I don't really,
He's one of the
But
best in-ring workers, though. That's the thing.
yeah, inside of wrestling, like his in-ring ability for somebody who just started doing this is pretty solid. But outside of that, as an overall package, in terms of character work, storytelling, mic work, he's not ready to be a world champion at all.
No.
At all.
He's not there
Like
like that. He's not there. He's
he's not
not
there
there like every
enough,
week.
and his ability, like he can have a good match with somebody that's able to lead him. If
Yeah.
he's going to be in there with somebody that cannot lead him, I don't think the match is going to be all that great.
I think
So for
prime
him to be a
example is
world champion
2023.
with that circumstance, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
SummerSlam. SummerSlam is a prime example when he faced Ricochet. Like, Ricochet got exposed in that feud. I'm going to be honest with you. And then the match
Little
just
bit.
seemed as if Logan was kind of doing his own thing. Ricochet
Yeah.
just didn't seem there. He was just getting obliterated every single week by Logan. And then the match didn't do any favors for him. And I think I will say this. Logan probably has potential to be a future world champion. Don't get me wrong, but not right now. People are already
No,
saying if he loses this match, put him in Money in the Bank and have him win that. No,
no.
no,
He could
that
be in
needs
the
to go to
match.
someone else.
He'll,
He could be in the match,
he'll have some
but
good
don't have him
spots.
win.
Yeah.
He'll have
No,
some great
absolutely
spots.
not.
Don't get me wrong, but him winning, no.
No,
Jey Uso is
that should be
winning
out of the
this.
question.
You just had him passed up a month. Then he's about to get into a feud with Gunther. The Raw after Money in the Bank. They already teased that. So it's a
Yeah.
foregone conclusion. We're gonna get Jay and Gunther part 669 at this point because they keep running this feedback every couple of months or whatever the case is. And I expect Jay to probably win that too. And then from there, maybe set that SummerSlam. Maybe that is the play. Maybe we are going to do Jay and set that SummerSlam because they want it to be 2 nights. So you're going to have to fill up the match or at least the show with multiple matches on both nights. That's a prime example for a match right there. But I expect Jay to win this. I do expect it to be a good match. People literally crap on Jay so much, like how he's not good in the ring. The match he just had literally with Braun Breaker this past Monday on the Raw was actually really good.
Yeah, it was solid. I think Jay. I don't think he's a scrub because I've seen him wrestle really well. I think people forget, like he had his match with Edge. I think the lead up to
2021?
WrestleMania 37. Yep,
Yeah.
lead up to WrestleMania 37. It was really damn good, and he was wrestling his ass off.
Mhm.
Like Jay has the capability to turn it up, but I feel like Jay, to me, recently in these last couple years since he's become main event Jey Uso,
Right.
he's kind of coasted off the fact that he's so popular that he doesn't have to try in the ring, which has been
Yeah.
my problem with him
Mhm.
personally. But outside of that, I still very much enjoy Jey Uso on my TV.
I agree. I feel like me personally, I prefer the right hand man Jey Uso over main event Jey Uso because we knew when he was the right hand man, that man was intense. That man did not take anything from nobody.
Mhm.
Anybody that got in his way or literally pissed him off, he would literally go at you
He would take
every
him
single
out. Yeah.
time. He would
Yep.
take you out. And I would like to see if they can bring that iteration of him back and then have it be more of a baby face because we know when he's right hand man, he's more of a heel. But
Yep.
I think that people are saying he might turn heel again soon. People saying we should probably do Jay and Sammy again potentially at next year's Mania for the world title. I don't see Jay holding the title for a year.
Nah,
They
yeah,
can't.
that's
I don't think they have enough leverage to get this for a year. It takes a
no
lot
way.
for a feud to literally be good enough from one year to the next. It's a lot
Yeah.
to happen. But I expect Jay to win that. Now we got to talk about Money in the Bank now. Money in the Bank is on June 7th. So we still have a few more qualifying matches that are going to be taking place so far. We know on the male side, who do we got on the male side so far? I know for the women, we got
Pull it up.
Rhea, because Rhea recently qualified for it.
Yep.
How do you feel
And
about
so did
Rhea?
Roxanne.
Yeah, Rhea and Roxanne. We got Charlotte, Zelina, and Julia on SmackDown tomorrow night. How do you feel about how and we have Alexa. Alexa's already qualified.
Yep. Alexa's
So
qualified. Yep.
yeah, so how do you feel about how Money in the Bank's shaping up so far for the women? And do you think because people have been criticizing Rhea Ripley that they don't feel like she should have been in there?
Yeah. I see people's argument for it, but at the same time, people are like they didn't want to see Io and Rhea again because potentially Rhea would get her belt back. It's kind of like a slippery slope with her. I don't
Mhm.
want to see her win Money in the Bank, but I feel
Oh
like
no.
her being in the match isn't too much of an issue to me. Like
It's
it's
not
just
because
like,
it's her first time being in it. It's her first time being
yeah,
in a Money in the Bank match. So
yep.
I won't have a problem with that. But her winning it, no.
That's where I would have a problem. Yeah,
I literally say that Rhea Ripley is a walking Money in the Bank. She can easily get a opportunity at a title. Like we see her literally whine and complain to get into this year's Mania match. So
yep.
she can easily do that again because I feel like maybe the plan is to maybe do Rhea and Io maybe at Evolution because we know Evolution is coming up shortly after Money in the Bank, so that might be a feud that they could have happen. I think Roxanne would be interesting to have win because you know that they're teasing her and being in the Judgment Day, and we know Dominic. Oh, Dominic, you're goated, my guy, but he has a problem. He has a
Yeah.
problem. You fumbled Rhea. Well, for reasons being, I'll let you slide with that one. You get Liv, who's been done nothing but be nice to you. She helped you get into an opportunity for the IC title,
Yeah.
and this is how you repay Liv Morgan by as soon as she leaves to go film a movie, you just give attention to Roxanne Perez.
That man Dominic just winning, bro.
He's winning. He's winning at life
keeps
at this
winning.
point. He's winning at life.
Yeah,
He's
at
IC
this point.
champion. He's having a great run so far. Decent. He's been having some decent matches with Penta. I expect him to get into with Finn Balor at some point because the rumor is that Finn Balor is supposed to turn on Dominic at Night of Champions, which is next month, which is going to be a Saudi
Oh, I
show.
forgot about that. Wow.
So that is the going plan. And then people are already saying maybe Charlotte's going to probably win her qualifying match because I don't know how I feel about that because we're already teasing Charlotte and Alexa possibly happening. Maybe
Yeah.
that could be for the U.S. title because I feel like Alexa might be the person to take the title off Zelina. I don't see Zelina winning the qualifying match. Julia would be interesting. But I feel like it's too soon for her right now to be in the Money in the Bank unless you want to have her have a couple good spots. That's about it.
I think that's what they would do, yeah, if they put her in there.
But I think they want to go for like one of the most stacked Money in the Bank lineups ever because you already got Alexa, you got Rhea, then you're probably gonna have maybe a Naomi get into it. Jade probably could make sense being in there, but I feel like they're probably gonna put Jade and Naomi in the same qualifier for some reason. I just feel as if they're going to do that. And they're not gonna do any last chance qualifier matches, so I would love to see Chelsea Green be in there, but they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna win it last year, to be honest. That was my prediction for last year.
It was back and forth. Either it was gonna be Tiffany or it was gonna be literally Chelsea. One of those two were gonna win. It was no one else. But
No,
like
100%.
this year, it could be stacked because you have another qualifying match on Raw, which I feel like is probably gonna be Ivy in there because she put her name in the hat. You might do Maxine Dupree, possibly. And then I feel, or maybe you might do Lyra because you know they did it with Zelina on SmackDown. Who's to say that they don't do it with Lyra on Raw and put her in a Money in the Bank qualifying match? And I feel like Liv Morgan probably will come back and be in a qualifying match, and I think she will be in Money in the Bank as well. Do I think Liv will win? No, but you could probably use that to set up her and Roxanne because I could see a situation throughout the match where Liv looks like she's about to unhook the briefcase. And then we have Roxanne come in and then push her off the ladder or something like that. And then she goes up and hooks the briefcase. That causes more dissension coming out of Money in the Bank because Liv feels some type of way like you literally screwed me out of winning the briefcase and getting back to becoming world champion again. So that is a good story to have because I honestly feel if they're going to do SummerSlam, you do Liv and Roxanne non-title, I think that match can cook.
Yeah, I think they would have a solid match. And I think that story works 100%. I think Roxanne should kind of be like the thing that kind of kills the Judgment Day in a sense. To me, I feel like the Judgment Day has run its course. I think they need to split off and do their own thing.
Yeah. When they changed their theme song to what it is
now. It was
now.
done.
Bro, it's not that I hate the song. Theme song is decent, but it just doesn't fit the Judgment Day. It doesn't.
At all.
You can give this to like you can give that theme song to like a Street Profits or a New Day, fine. But the Judgment Day, really? No, you giving them a rap theme song? As soon as I seen them come out to it, I'm like, wait, what am I listening to? What I'm literally wondering, what am I listening to on my television? Like seriously. And I feel like at least for the Money in the Bank for the women, I would expect Naomi to get the win. I expect Naomi to win the Money in the Bank this year. I expect her to win, and she cashes in on Tiffany. And then maybe we could do some feuds, maybe with her going into what's another big show? Maybe Clash in Paris, possibly with her and Jade Cargill, maybe her and Bianca or something along the lines of that. I think that could be good. And then have her give her a couple months. Maybe she drops it. Maybe Survivor Series.
Naomi. Yeah, Naomi would be a great choice. I think she's been due. Yeah, I think she's been due for a world title run for a long time, since like 2017, to be honest. But I think this would be a great opportunity to do that. I think her character work recently has been insane. Obviously, she's been good in the ring forever, so I don't have an issue with
Yeah.
that. So it's like everything clicks here for her to be world champion. I think Money in the Bank would be perfect for her. Like
Yeah.
she could be walking around like proceed with caution, Tiffany, like shit like that.
Oh, a proceed with caution briefcase. Now that would be kind of
Yeah,
dope.
like a
That would be
caution. Yeah,
dope.
there you go. Yeah,
I could see her doing that. I could definitely see her winning because I
yeah.
think out of all the people in there, I don't want to see Charlotte with the briefcase at all. Please don't do that. I will literally turn off the television right then and there, cancel my Peacock subscription as well.
Hell
I don't
no.
care to see that at all. Alexa would be cool, but we already seen there, been there, done that. Maybe you
Yeah,
just have her go for the US title, help elevate that title. Other people in there, I mean, Liv Morgan would be cool just because she's a heel, and I feel like her character would fit with her being in the Judgment League for the time being, and Raquel
mhm.
would help her. But I don't think people care to see her win the briefcase again after what happened the first time. So no,
No.
I think it's literally Naomi. People said maybe Bianca if she comes back. That would be cool, but I don't care to. I don't want to see it right now. Maybe next year. Rhea, please don't. Just don't. No. 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 Please. For everything good in this world,
Oh man,
don't have Rhea
don't
win this
do it.
briefcase. Like literally
Don't
one of
do
my
it.
friends, shout out to my guy Wolf. He literally was on stream yesterday. He said if they give Rhea the briefcase, he would literally rather John Moxley hold the world title for another year before he gives Rhea Ripley a briefcase.
Ooh, ooh, I don't know.
I don't know
Oh,
about that
that's
one.
both pretty ass. What? Oh,
Like
damn.
I
Okay,
like John Moxley, but this run ain't it.
at
This
all.
run,
No, it's tuned me out to AEW
and
like
then
crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
people are mad that I said Will Ospreay should be the one to take the title.
He should.
He
He should.
should.
If it's not him, it's Hangman.
It's gonna be Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap up, you guys. We pretty much went through a lot of the things, Money in the Bank. Do you have anything you want to share before we head out, Mo?
Uh, yeah. Just make sure y'all tune in to the Rated M Wrestling channel on YouTube, TikTok, and IG. We're gonna have the Rated M podcast in just about like 20 minutes here, so make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all subscribe to Kicking It with Leo, man. Great content over here as well. That's about it. That's about it that I got right now.
Yeah, his links are in the description. So if you guys want to go support, he probably will be live later today and we'll probably do some more collabs in the future. If you guys want that, maybe we'll do something when actual more qualified matches get announced, and maybe we'll do an actual official prediction for that. Maybe we'll get some of his boys on here. We could do like a 6-man type of stream. We'll see
Yeah,
how
yeah.
that goes.
Yeah,
But
I'm done with
from
that.
myself, Mo, we'll see you guys in the next video. I gotta head out for our next stream, but we guys will collab soon, very soon.
Yes, sir.